what it is, what's up, got your Gary V content in the cut. Uh, Listen, I have a shirt on. That's how you know it's a serious content here. I'm really coming to speak to something that I think is really important, and it may seem trivial. I know it does. When you hearken upon the relevancy of a new Apple implementation or feature, you're really inviting the cynics in. But I am myself a cynic of most things Apple related that's marginal, improving around the corners, just small things that don't really seem to have that much ingenuity or innovation or actual importance. But this thing I actually do see some relevancy in. So if you update it to iOS, I believe 16.0 or 16.2, it came with a new feature that essentially allowed for this new app called Freeform, which is a app that Apple itself created that really just simply allows you to doodle. It's a mood board. The Visco women won. The TikTok women won here. Mood boards are now on everybody's iPhone when they update to the latest version. Amazing. But to be for real here, I think there's actual value in that. I'm not saying it's innovation by Apple, but I am saying that the premise of, by default, seeking to give people a baseline of creation in one location, just giving them the tools and asking them to cook, there's value in that. And I think Apple has really succeeded in the last few years in attempting to give people the tools to create. We have, I forgot the name of it, but their app that allows you to do shortcuts. It's called Shortcuts. Shortcuts is this real pivot towards techies. And I know some takes going to say, well, it's limited in this and you can't make that and blah, blah, blah. Listen, Apple's need to have measures sometimes, but their half measures is full measures or are full measures to a very big batch of people in this world. So some small niche may consider it not enough, but you got to understand that Apple doesn't appeal to you. And with that whole health craze they've done by define or by default in their ecosystem, they are literally overbearing, but overbearing in a way that are things that I think you should at least think of as positives. Like if you're saying, okay, I'm being reminded to walk every day by my Apple Watch. And with the whole focus on mental health, the motivation app, they have these tons of widget implementations that put these little short notes in your phone's lock screen. And I think things of that nature really are small wins, which I think if you work for a software company, small wins are things that keep you alive essentially. And I think Apple's done a great job of that. This freeform thing could, in 10 years, have a ton of venture capitalists, just even normal people with good ideas. I literally thought of an app idea, just from looking at this app. I went into Freeform, I opened a note, and then I'm a very creative person. I've done this YouTube for 4 years, and I've never had a creation block. I had a lazy block because I'm a lazy person, but I've never had a creation block. I've done podcasts. I've done all this stuff, music. It's nothing for me to think of things. So I'm not saying I'm not even bragging by that. I think most people are creative if you give them time. The problem to me, one of the blocks of creativity in the last few years, I feel like, because I think we've almost went from this massive well of creativity from the 80s and 90s and 2000s, and then we've somehow homogenized most industries, technology, TV, film. There's obviously breakthroughs in all those respective industries, but we've gotten to a point where we've almost sought a level of this. I would say this describes the entire millennium, and this is where we're in 2023. So I think there's been a return to form, at least in attempting to give the tools back to the creator. TikTok, it enables these people to such a high degree. I think Apple has tried to enable content creation. I think a lot of platforms have tried to openly really goad people into creation with short form, very small, minute amount of payments. If you go to Anchor.fm, which I use as a podcast hosting platform when I was doing podcasts actively, uh, these apps are finding ways to really open the platform up and allow the little guy to enter. Now maybe there's a glass ceiling on how far you can get up there before they decide, hey, I can't get enough off of you, or you're getting too much of the pay cut. So at that point, you really start getting raked off the coals, raked raked over the coals. But the point being that I think there's inherent value to these platforms, these massive trillion-dollar industries, to find a way to engage the little guy on some level as a peer or a partner in the whole universe they exist in. And I think that I forgot the name of it. I think this Freeform. I think Freeform will go a long way into enabling a ton of people that are in the absence of responsibilities and true freedom of time, in a open source of tools given are creative people. Look at iPads, for example. iPads and their drawing suites have allowed, I'm not saying this from Apple, just from the various people that produce apps that you can draw on, have produced these large swaths of people that have ideas that just never got a chance to really draw them out. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of artistic ability out there in people. You just got to give them the tool that works best for them. And for a lot of people, maybe they don't see the need to have some massive swath of collage images of just random things that give them inspiration. Some people may not see that. I've never thought of doing that, but I have decided to go on my Instagram and follow certain people. I've decided to go on YouTube and subscribe to certain people and subscribe from others that don't match what I want to learn. I've decided to have certain apps on my phone. So for me, the Zoomer that gets his creativity not from magazines or even the Web 2.0 era of form contents like TV or film, traditional TV and film. Maybe just Instagram, maybe just scrolling through enough gives me inspiration to do this or that. Mood board. Freeform is trying to reach you there, and I think that with the very consistent level of success that Visco has had, that Pinterest has survived off on, I can see where this becomes I don't know how they monetize it, but a massive success.